You know, I've been thinking about having another guest on my show for a while now, and at first I was just going to have my personal friend John do another character, but then he was like, hey, you should get a real guest. And I was like, yeah, what a concept. I could use a little fuel myself, and we could all use a little change. So then he told me to drown myself in a lake and left. So I decided to take his advice to heart, and I got in contact with Vinny. And Vinny from Vinesauce, who was very busy with his streaming and his band stuff and the PAX coming up, all of those busy things, said, hey, yeah, I'll take a little bit of time out and help you out, Samurai Jack, because we're such close personal friends. But in seriousness, I really appreciate it, and I'll be having all of his links in my description, so you can, check out his stuff. I'm sure most people watching this video will know Vinny a lot more than they'll know me. Anyway, like I said, he's a busy guy, so I'm going to get straight to the questions then. Anyway, Vinny, the whole crux of this video series is paranormal subjects and crazy stuff like that. So the first question is going to be, are you a believer in the paranormal?
I'm a skeptical believer in the paranormal. I've heard a lot of stories from people that I trust that definitely set me in a direction of belief, yet I know a lot of paranormal things can be explained by more conventional means. So for me, the paranormal isn't so much, yes, definitely paranormal things happen. It's more, it could be. I'm open-minded to it. That said, I've had some personal experiences that I can't explain, and I don't think I ever will be able to explain them. And sure, sleep paralysis is one great explanation. Swamp gas from Venus. Any of those things can explain it. But for me, I feel like every time someone tells me that the paranormal is fake, that's a little closed-minded. And every time someone says paranormal is definitely real, that's, I think, way too far in the opposite direction. So I'm kind of in the middle. Could be, maybe. If I get explanations for the things I've heard and I've seen, then I would probably stop believing in it. Sure.
Yeah, in all seriousness, I'm with you there, where I think more people should have an open mind about things, but not completely drink the Kool-Aid on believing every paranormal thing. There should be a balance in what you believe in. Like, obviously, I believe in the Bigfoot and the Mothman and the Jersey Devil, but if people are going to come to me and tell me that the globster wasn't just a hunk of animal fat that washed up on a beach, I'm going to tell them, hey, they explained that like 40 years ago, dude. Anyway, to get to a subject that I feel like we both have a little bit of experience in, what is it about games like Worlds and Active Worlds or even like Second Life that you think inspires such uneasiness and mystery and like feelings of alienation?
In games like Worlds and Active Worlds in particular, there's this weird sense of like exploring an abandoned town. I know Active Worlds isn't necessarily abandoned, and neither is Worlds, but it's mostly user-created content, and you can go to a lot of areas that are totally empty. And I think the unease comes from knowing that someone spent weeks, months, maybe years of their lives building these places, and there used to be people there all the time, and then you go there years later and it's empty. I think that's what inspires the unease. It's kind of like exploring an abandoned village that, no one's around. Even if you don't believe in the paranormal, you kind of still get this feeling of unease when it's kind of dark and you're isolated, no one's around you, and it's just, the feeling of walking into a house that no one's lived in for years. There's just something unsettling about that. Also, the graphics on Worlds and Active Worlds it's older. They're older games. And they're designed to be a bit more crude. And there's something about that, too, that I think, can't really put my finger on it, but it definitely helps the mystery. Second Life has those moments, too, but honestly, Second Life is too goofy for me to get scared by.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of the creepy stuff about Second Life is the sex stuff, not the same sort of creepy that you get from Worlds.com or Active Worlds, so I'm with you there. Anyway, what strikes your memory as the most unintentionally creepy moment or object in a game that was probably designed to be innocuous?
There's a few. The most recent one's the Hitomi Fujiko incident from Active Worlds. I don't think Hitomi was planning on really tricking me that much. However, I had expected that character to be an NPC as part of like a storyline, considering I thought I was trapped in Goblin Village. I learned later that all I had to do was press the gate. But the way Hitomi roleplayed was very... It almost felt like some ancient AI, which is unfortunately what a lot of people put in like headlines for maximum viral hits. It wasn't that at all, but it was creepy, and I think unintentionally even creepier because of the way it was done. Also, there was some stuff in Worlds that was unintentionally creepy. For example, there's a moment when I explored the cartoon village with the cartoon dog, and I think there was a frog there. There was something so bright and cheery about it, and it was obviously not designed to be creepy, but the fact that everything else that I had seen was so dark and weird, and like the hand garden, and then you go there and it's just like, what's the deal with this? This looks like Satan is trying to trick me and give me candy, and then eventually through the frog, suck my soul through fucking portal. That didn't happen, but it felt like it could have. That was very creepy. And in Second Life, there was a circus. In, I think, a Ralph video, I showed some of this weird circus stuff, and the music was creepy, and the clowns were creepy. It was designed to be fun, but I mean, clowns are always they're one of those things that are designed to be fun, but are either the most unfunny thing ever or scary.
All right, there's a lot of people who seem convinced that a lot of the creepy stuff in these things like Worlds is the product of like internet ghosts, like someone died and their soul somehow went into the game and is around to spook people out. My question is, if you became an internet ghost, some sort of cyber spook, what game would you haunt, and how would you haunt the humans to spook the bejesus out of them?
If I died and became an internet ghost, I would probably want to haunt Mario 64. Because it's a fun, bright, colorful Nintendo game, and it has a few creepy moments, but I would want to haunt just one person's cartridge and just scare the shit out of them at the most opportune time. I don't know how. I'm going to work on that. But kind of like the Ben Drown stuff that was online a while back. The Haunted Majora's Mask cartridge. That was really fun to read, and that was a good hoax. I enjoyed that hoax. So yeah, I would want to do something like that. And if I could haunt an online game, it would probably be something simple. Maybe Second Life would be good. Or in the same way I was trolled by Hitomi, I wouldn't mind doing that to someone else, but really getting them good and knowing enough information to really screw with them. I think that kind of stuff would be good. The idea of pretending to be an NPC, or actually, say, inhabiting an NPC in, say, World of Warcraft, and then suddenly coming to life because, spooky internet ghost stuff. You definitely could do that. That would be really cool.
All right. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I appreciate as much as you've given already, so I'll give you one last question to round it off at 5. What is your personal favorite type of paranormal activity, or your favorite cryptozoological creature?
I guess my personal favorite paranormal subject is still UFOs and aliens. I don't know if that counts for paranormal, but I find that to be fascinating. And I always enjoyed watching documentaries and reading books about it. Abductions and like mass sightings are always really interesting to me. And I know the information can sometimes be a bit sketchy, but it's still fun. And again, I've had people tell me they've seen UFOs, and I think I've seen 2 of them. And aircraft or not, it's something that really makes you think. When it comes to, if you want to stick with just spooky stuff and ghosts on the planet Earth, then I guess my favorite topic would be just general like hauntings. There's a number of places where I'm from that are very haunted, apparently, and there's actually a whole paranormal investigation unit where they go around to these supposedly very haunted places. Like there's a haunted monastery, an abandoned haunted monastery. That's pretty. You're covering all the bases there. Not one of those things makes it appealing to explore, but that kind of stuff is really interesting to me. EVP is pretty interesting, catching a ghost's voice, quote unquote, on a recorder. So, I mean, it's really fascinating stuff to me, and it may or may not be anything, but it's a topic I've delved into a lot when I was younger. And I guess my favorite cryptozoological creature would be the toyul, Toyul, which I saw a video on a while back, and it was very unsettling. It was like a backwards-legged golem from Lord of the Rings, and if you look it up, you can find some more information about it. It's really, really bizarre, and I mean, X-Files covered most of this stuff when it comes to strange, spooky creatures, but that one I think is definitely, there's just something weird about a little demon creature with backwards legs. So, anyway, cheers.
All right. Well, I really appreciate the interview. So I'm probably going to end the video about now. I don't want to belabor the point. You know, most people I imagine who watch this video will be here for Vinny, not for me. So check out Vinny's stuff. He's got stuff all over the place. I'll have some links in my description, or you can just go to vinesauce.com, which is his site, has everything on it. And if you want to see anything else from me, you're on the YouTube channel. You can check out all my other videos. And if you need to get in contact with me for any of this type of video, these game and chats, you can email me at samurai_jack@tutanota.com. So have a nice one, everybody.